So they'll be about a month, 3 weeks apart. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my first trimester update. I am currently 16 weeks pregnant, so I've been putting this off for way too long, and I felt like I just need to do it. My daughter Grace is sleeping right now. I feel like she probably will wake up, so she might make an appearance in this video. We'll see. So I have been using my bullet journal to like document my pregnancy. When I was pregnant with Grace, I bought like an actual like pregnancy journal and I filled it all out and everything, but I don't know, I just didn't feel like paying for one this time, I guess. I have been planning, I'm wanting to make these videos since I found out, actually even before I found out I was pregnant. Whenever I got pregnant the next time, I knew that I wanted to make pregnancy update videos, but I needed a place to write it all down before making the videos so that I didn't forget. And I'm super glad I did, considering that I've now waited 16 weeks to even make my first video. So I'm just basically going to be reading out things from my journal and filling you in on the first trimester. I think I'm going to talk about till 12 weeks, and then I will do another video on like the second trimester up to whatever I'm presently pregnant at. Anyways, let's jump in. So I did find out I was pregnant on January 11th, which now, because I do know my due date now, didn't then obviously, I can date that at 3 weeks and 5 days. So that is exceptionally early. I didn't even know that you could even like get a positive that early. I did get a really faint early positive with Grace as well, but I think it was like 4 weeks and 1 day or something. It was much later than that. The positive this time was really faint, probably like the faintest positive ever. I think I have a picture of it. If I do, I'll insert it here. So then my first doctor's appointment was on January 26th, and I learned that my doctor that I had my whole pregnancy with Grace is also pregnant. She probably has had the baby by now. She left, I think I had 1 or 2 more appointments with her, and then I'll talk about my new doctor when I get to that point. Let's see, what did I write down? I was 5 weeks and 6 days. My blood pressure was 117/73. If that means anything to you, I think that's pretty average. When I was pregnant with Grace, it was pretty average throughout the whole pregnancy, and then near the end it got a little bit high, but not high enough that they wanted to like induce me early or anything like that. On February 7th, I had my first ultrasound. The heart rate was 152 beats per minute, and I was 7 weeks and 4 days. And I do have a clip that I took after the ultrasound. I didn't record any of the ultrasound. I don't know, I was by myself and I just felt weird about it, so I'll insert that clip here. I just got back in the car from my ultrasound. I'm like out of breath. I ran back because it's raining and I had to park really far away because there was like no parking, but it went really well. The pictures are kind of not the greatest, but can't really get good pictures at this like age, I guess you call it, gestational age. But it went really good. The baby's heartbeat, her heart rate or whatever, was in the 150s. It was 152. I was trying to remember what it was with Grace, and I can't remember, so I'm definitely gonna go back and like in my book that I wrote everything down and check. But I'm so glad everything went well. What else did they say? Oh, my new due date is September 22nd, and that's sort of what I was thinking, because usually the date is always wrong. Like it was wrong with Grace in the beginning. I forget what else I was gonna say. But yeah, the date, I don't know, just like from looking at the dates, and Grace was a couple days early, and I just, the date that I had in my head that this baby will be born is September 20th, which is actually my childhood best friend's birthday. So when she said my new due date was September 22nd, I thought that was pretty spot on. But yeah, I'm gonna go home to Grace now. I'm excited to show Greg the pictures. My mom is with Grace right now and she doesn't know. I had to lie to her, but whereas coming line have to, but I haven't told her yet. I want to tell her with like a cute little surprise. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm excited. I'm glad it went well. I keep wanting to call this baby like a girl or her, so I keep trying to say this baby because I really don't like saying it. But yeah, I'm excited. Oh yeah, this is what else I was gonna say. The tech like brought me into the room and stuff, and then she was like, oh, I'm just waiting for the student. And I was like, oh, okay. So then the student came in the room, and then she actually did the ultrasound, which like I don't care. So the tech did the ultrasound, or sorry, no, so the student did the ultrasound, and she was taking like what felt like forever, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't that long. I was really nervous, so it might not have even been that long compared to normal, but I felt like it was a long time because she was like practicing or whatever. So anyways, she's like doing a thing, you know, she said, oh, is it better to, you know, this or that, or with like talking to the tech who was just in the back of the room. And then she says to me, she's like, oh, the heart rate, the baby, she said, I'm getting a fetal heart rate in the 150s. And it was like so much like anxiety and worry just like went away when she said that, because they always do it so like you can't see the screen like until the end of the ultrasound. Then they like show you everything that's going on and like give you a few pictures and stuff. But when she said, this guy's coming back. But when she said, yeah, fetal heart rate, or beat, I think she said fetal heart rate, I'm getting a fetal heart rate in the 150s, and it was just like, After my ultrasound, I learned that my due date was September 22nd, so Grace will be just 2 years old when this baby is born. Her birthday is August 30th, so they'll be about a month, 3 weeks apart. We are back. Miss Grace woke up from her nap. She's had some lunch and she's gonna have a banana now. So, here you go. She will be joining us. Oh, you sit up there? Perfect. Okay, so, where were we? For the early weeks, I didn't write down my symptoms like each week up until really like 8 weeks. So, as far as just like the really early weeks, I'm just gonna like list off the symptoms that I had. My hands and feet were so cold in the beginning, and I think that went on for a few weeks. We'll see. But it was the weirdest thing. Like my hands and feet were just so cold. And it was like January, February, right? So it was technically winter time, but before I was pregnant, I didn't have like extremely cold hands or feet. So that was definitely a pregnancy symptom. Fatigue, which is pretty like normal for pregnancy. That is actually the symptom that made me test in the first place, because with her, that is like the biggest thing I remember. Hi, Biggie. I was just like so tired in the early weeks, and I felt that same tiredness, and that is what made me take a test. So I had like indigestion or an upset stomach. I didn't really have any morning sickness per se. I didn't have any like throwing up, which I'm very thankful for. I didn't with her either. But it was like, I just like didn't feel good all the time. Like when you have like, the best way I can describe it is like when you have like a cold or something and you just don't feel good, but you're not like necessarily nauseous. I got like some waves of nausea, but yeah, the best way I can describe it is just like not feeling good, or like indigestion, upset stomach. Next on the list, I had some headaches and some dizziness. Are you licking yourself? Some constipation, and then in week 7 I noticed I definitely had an increased sense of smell. That is all I really wrote down. In week 7 the baby's the size of a blueberry, 0.51 inches, so like half an inch. And then I wrote down a couple little facts. The baby at week 7, the baby has doubled in size since the previous week and is generating 100 new brain cells per minute. You feel it? So I think that's really crazy, like per minute, 100 new brain cells. There you go. Okay. Okay. So now into week 8, which is where I really, let's give you like a little overview. I am planning to do, I want to do like a video more just in depth about like how I documented in my bullet journal. I think that might be cool to do. So for week 8, the baby weighs about 0.04 ounces and is 0.63 inches, so just over half an inch. It's okay, Gracie. He can be on the counter. The baby is the size of a wild strawberry, so I think that's just like a smaller strawberry. Yeah, that's next week. So I just wrote down February 15th. Yeah, that's Mama's drawings. I wrote down February 15th. I should have written down like how many weeks and days that was. This is again still in the 8th week, but the baby's the size of a gummy bear. That's a wild strawberry, honey. It's gonna take forever with you. Yes, that's a heart. Okay, so my symptoms for week 8 was fatigue, again the cold hands and feet, upset stomach, a few headaches, dizziness, Gracie, and at 8 weeks and 5 to 6 days, I had some cramping. Gracie, sorry, Grace was grabbing at the camera, so I can't quite tell if it's the same angle. She moved it around. So that's pretty much it for week 8. Week 9, the baby's officially a fetus and is the size of a cherry. On February 17th is the size of a postage stamp. And on February 21st was the size of a tater tot. All of this information, that's a heart, honey. All this information I got from the Bump app or Ovia, but most of it I think is from the Bump app. So my symptoms for week 9 were extreme fatigue. I really started to feel more tired this week. I started having really vivid dreams, like that, like I really were like, I don't know, like really like real feeling in the dream, and then when I woke up it was like unforgettable kind of dreams, if that makes any sense. I started to notice the veins on my stomach, like sort of on the sides that like go down, if that makes sense. I remember noticing these when I was pregnant with Grace, but I can't remember if it was about the same time or not. Moving on to week 10, the baby is as big as a Lego man or a Tetra fish. Sometimes I have two different things because I use two different apps. The fingernails and hair are starting to appear, and the baby is 1.18 inches long and 0.14 ounces. So on March 2nd, the baby was the size of a baby sea turtle shell. I drew a little sea turtle shell. My symptoms were again fatigue, vivid dreams. I had more disturbed sleep this week than I had in previous weeks. I'm not really sure. I've had that like on and off throughout the pregnancy. I'm not really sure why. I can't. Yeah. Are you eating ducks? I don't really know like what the main reason for that is. And then also this week, yes, there's Biggie, honey. Also this week I noticed I started to get bloating. So that's fun. On February 26th, I had my last doctor's appointment with my doctor, who I love. We couldn't find the heartbeat on the Doppler, but she pulled out like the mini ultrasound machine, which I didn't even know my office had. So that was really cool to be able to get to see the baby again. Even though we couldn't find the heartbeat, which I love hearing the heartbeat. I think that's so cool. At least I got to see it. So week 11, the baby is as big as a lime. The fingers and toes are not webbed anymore, and the baby weighs the baby is 1.61 inches long and weighs 0.25 ounces. This week I had less fatigue, but more headaches and some bloating. So not too many symptoms as far as week 11. Hi, baby. Your face is a mess. No, don't touch my book. You are eating ducks. She's got some little snacks over there. On March 6th, the baby weighed as much as a packet of ketchup, and on March 7th was as tall as a bobby pin is long. So moving to week 12, the baby is as big as a plum or an apricot, so I think that's like, I don't know, that big? Anyways, the baby started opening and closing their fingers and curling their toes. That was hard to get out. The baby is 2.09 inches tall or long. I guess they're long at this point, that's like a fair amount. Like that's decently sized. And 0.49 ounces, so half an ounce pretty much. The symptoms I had this week, I again was not so tired, but still enough tired to write it down. headaches, and I wrote I was not thirsty. Water just like wasn't appealing this week. I remember that very clearly, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with why I was having headaches. But I did notice this week I had to pee all the time, and that has not stopped since. So that is it for this update. Week 12, I never know if week 12 is the beginning of the second trimester or after week 12 is the beginning of the second trimester. I've heard like mixed opinions. Are you sharing with your elephant? Yeah. So I'm just gonna end it at week 12. That is my first trimester update. Oh, thank you. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to follow our journey. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye!